in the hands of somebody who is not supposed to have drugs with him or her under the bed, under conditions that are not approved by the state, and we don't even know what the person is saying that he or she has, then it is questionable, because one, the source is not known, so the active ingredient is not known, and the person legally is not accountable because nothing can happen to him. When you go there and you take any type of drug from he or she, you are just at risk. So all those drugs, ranging from Indian hemp, cocaine, tramadol, and any single drug, whether even if you perceive that you have seen a malaria drug, where is it coming from? Has the drug been tested? Has our own approval system in the country accepted that this drug should be used here? Has the company that is bringing the drug in the country here, has it supplied us with a monogram of how the drug is used in other places? And has the drug passed the appropriate test to be used here? And who is doing the day-to-day monitoring, evaluation, and doing quality control for that drug? So those type of drugs that are in unauthorized places, that they sell them like granite, some put them under the bed, some put them under the table, some mix them with gari, and then you find them inside the market. Those are all roadside medicines, and they are very, very, very hazardous to the system, and the casualties are just enormous.
All right, thank you very much. We are going to be looking at the impacts later in the program. And let me come to you, Dr. Kapan. Doctor just mentioned that unauthorized, that these drugs are unauthorized, they are being sold by non-qualified persons. I just wish to find out how come there are so many in our community, because it's very rampant. You go everywhere, you find them. How come they are very common now in our community, unauthorized operation taking place in the country?
Thank you for that question. Asking me how come they are present in the country. Because of the porous nature of the borders, I think. The borders are very porous. And so Mr. A, B, or C, they can create any means to see that this medication come into the country. They are not authorized. They don't come in through the legal channels. They don't go through the customs. Just anything they can do. They can do just anything to see that these drugs get into the country. And if they are not coming in through the authorized channel, it means that they are not safe, because drugs are good when stored in the right conditions, when given in the right doses, and when used to treat the appropriate illness after proper diagnosis. But since they come in through unauthorized channels, we start questioning their safety. We start questioning their effectiveness, because there are some medications that are supposed to be kept in the fridge. We call them cold chain drugs. Since these persons who bring in these drugs have to do anything by all means to have these drugs into the country, this means those that are supposed to be in coolers are kept in whatever condition the peddler finds appropriate for him, by which he will not be caught. So we are saying that because of the porous nature of our borders, and because these peddlers do not know, some of them don't even know the risk involved when patients take these medicines which have not been kept in good conditions. Because they don't know, they just want their money. They keep it in any condition and come and supply to the innocent Cameroonian who does not even know the danger.
Okay, doctor, let me come to you, Dr. Felix. how come, can you just tell us, because I know to come out or to open a pharmacy in the country, normally you have to go to a school, you have to have your certificate and all of that. I just want you to just take us through the procedures for you to be qualified, to be called a pharmacist and to be able to sell medicine to people.
Well, to become a pharmacist, it implies that you must be in the top 2% of the best students.
Okay.
Because there are, like in the university that we graduated, they call it, there is 2% admission for pharmacists of international students. And you have to be actually very bright in order to go through the course. Because you have to first and foremost be science inclined, and you must be able to understand how they can produce a drug, where the drug works, and the side effect of the drugs. So you are going to learn the mechanism of action of every single drug. You are going to learn production of the drug from start to finish, and then you will learn all those things. So you must be a very smart student to be admitted into the School of Pharmacy. When you are admitted into the School of Pharmacy, they give you a non-classified degree because you have to attain a certain level of excellence, because there are certain courses that their minimum pass mark is 60%. If you have 59.9, you are going to repeat the course. So it's not like something that, because the least mistake in producing someone who is giving you a substance, that is, even if it is coming from the pharmacy and the person makes an error, the error may be fatal.
Yeah.
You see, that is why it is not, the pharmacists are not selling drugs, they are dispensing drugs. They give you a drug, they give you all the relevant information, and before they dispense a drug to you, they remember that you go to the School of Pharmacy, spend 4 or 5 years, when you graduate, you take an oath. Okay. Then you come into the country, you go file your documents in the ministry, and then to the board, you have to wait, they have to check and make sure that you graduated from a very accredited university before they will accept to give you a license to practice. And once a license is given to you by the board, you have to come to your region, you apply to the regional delegate. They will send a delegation to come and inspect where you are going to keep medications for the people to consume. Then you pass, if you pass that test, you now still have to go to the companies that supply drugs legally, not those things that they tie in bags and pass through the wharf and jump into the creeks with it, and so that is not how drugs are transported into the country. Drugs that are circulating in our country, when they come into the country, they are taken to the Ministry of Public Health, to the laboratory. You supply them about 24 cartons for it. They will do quality control tests. They will check the ammonogram where this drug is used in Germany or is used in France and so on. You do the approval there, and then they now test the drug here if it is a drug that can be used to treat that particular disease here. When you have that approval, then the drug will be accepted into this country. And there are special people who have wholesale licenses that will bring the drug into the country. And bringing the drug into the country, it means it has to follow a particular supply chain. The vehicles that carry drugs are not the very vehicles that carry gari and all these things that people move around with. They carry only drugs under specific conditions and they bring it to the pharmacy. The person and the worker, the pharmacy in charge, they sign those drugs that they have received this quantity of drugs. And when they dispense them, there are some that they sign that, okay, this doctor asked for this quantity of drug and I gave it to this patient at this particular time and so on. And the regional delegation of public health in that region comes from time to time to control to make sure that all the conditions necessary for you as a pharmacist to dispense drugs to the members of the community are met as from the day you took your oath. So it's not any type of simple exercise that somebody will just go who has a degree in history. Some don't even have O-level biology, and they think that the best thing to do is they are going to sell drugs. You are selling what you know, and quite often they give drugs to people and there are complications, and they don't have any means to know whether there is going to be a complication if I give this dose, and what dose is required for which particular person, at what age, and so on. So what they have in their hand may not even necessarily be the drug they are seeing, because since they cannot even see, they have not been trained to recognize a particular medication. So they don't know even the levels of the medications. So you see them, they can pick a drug and give you to treat malaria, and that drug is a placebo. It doesn't have any active ingredient that will treat malaria. And then you are happy. I have gone to all the places. I have taken medicine, I'm not well. You have taken medicine from where? From who? You do check. Because in this country and in any other country, you have to be a qualified pharmacist from an accredited university, and you display your degree and everything outside. It's like going to the park to enter a vehicle. You have to check all the tires before. So when you are taking a medication, you have to first and foremost know that you're taking a medication. It is going to kill you or harm you. If it doesn't harm you now and you perceive, you are just thinking that it's not doing harm to you, but it's doing a lot of harm. Because what we have here, we have roadside medicine, we have narcotics, we have tramadol, we have heroin, we have cocaine, we have all sorts of drugs here. That is why you find our children now, if you see young boys, they don't move the way they are supposed to move, because they are dealing with drugs of addiction that have entered the country through pirated means by some scheme of people who can get drugs into the country illegally and escape control from the Ministry of Public Health.
All right, thank you. Dr. Tapang, I wish to ask this question. Doctor just mentioned it here passively though. You see a lot of young boys, a lot of young girls now into this tramadol, this illicit drugs. That is what is trending. Even though it's bad, then we should not also refuse the fact that it's trending. And I know you are from a pharmacy, you dispense drug from the Molecular Amazing Pharmacy here. I wish to find out if these guys can come to a recognized and authorized pharmacy like yours and buy these drugs. Is it possible?
Thank you so much. It is not possible, because when you talk of these drugs, these mind-altering drugs like tramadol, which is trending, these are prescription-only medicines. This means these are medicines we dispense after seeing a duly signed prescription by a medical doctor. This means whoever comes to the pharmacy to get this medication must have been to the hospital, and the doctor diagnoses whatever he diagnoses and then judges that this medicine is the best for the patient. And mark you, things like tramadol are not the first line treatment for pains. Those are second or third line treatments. We start with milder painkillers, move to higher ones, and if these painkillers, the ordinary painkillers, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, do not treat you, then we can go to the centrally acting drugs like the tramadol, the codeines, and the rest. So anybody who will move into Amazing Pharmacy and says he or she wants to buy tramadol or any medication which has tramadol in it, we cannot sell it to you, because we are not there to sell medicines. Pharmacists are not medicine sellers. We are there to safeguard the health of the people. So we are there to give what is best for them. And these people who want to self-medicate and would decide to just move into the pharmacy to buy medicines, or because their doctor once upon a time prescribed for them or their grandmother, and because the pain has resurfaced and they just come and say, I want to buy that medicine that I took the other time, it helped me so much, we will not sell to you, because we are not there to make the money only. We are there to first safeguard the health of the community. That gives us the satisfaction, and we know as pharmacists, well-trained pharmacists, that when we serve the population in the right way, the money will come. Money is not the primary objective. So you come with your money, we will not take it. We want to see that the society is sane. We are having a lot of wayward youth these days because of the illicit sales of medicine, the illicit use of mind-blowing or mind-altering medication. I hope I've answered.
You've answered very well. I would just want doctor to also cue in from there. We are looking now at the impact on our community, because our focus is the community. We should not lie that those roadside medicine sellers are there. They are everywhere. I don't know. Normally they are not supposed to be operating, but they are there. So I don't know. Let me not just say, but I believe that it's wrong for them to be operational. We know they hide some of these things, but it's also for the community to come out. So I wish to ask you, look at this tramadol, this cocaine, whatsoever they call them, that is in our community nowadays, and it's making, I just want you to tell us about some of the health effects that it has on our youth.
Thank you so much. The health effects that the illicit sale of any drug to the community, it starts from the person who takes the drug, goes to the family, and then to the nation. For instance, let's take a simple drug like paracetamol, dispensed poorly. You take it. It has hepatotoxicity. It's going to affect your liver. You are not supposed to take it beyond a certain limit. Remember that the trained pharmacist is there to see what the doctor has prescribed. And what the doctor has prescribed, once a doctor writes a prescription, the doctor is going to put his number, that is a registered medical doctor number, this, from this hospital, and everything to the pharmacist. If the pharmacist look at the drug, for instance, that the prescriber has prescribed a particular drug, for instance, like tramadol, that it should be given to the patient, the pharmacist is going to go through the prescription and see if it is necessary to give that particular person that drug in the required quantity. Because one, if the person ends up with overdose or ends up become a drug addict, we have very few psychiatric centers here, and the treatment costs for about 6 months more than $1 million something, or 2 million. How many people in our local community can afford that type of money? So they have to take them and isolate them in the community so that they can be free from all these cannabis, Indian hemp, tramadol, and all the drugs that they have been taken. So it affects the family income. The family that has the money are going to spend more than close to 2 million. Then, while spending the 2 million, every other activity in the family is retarded. Meanwhile, the person, the child, or the person who is sick, after taking the drug, is no longer productive. So the country economy is affected. The money that was supposed to be used for productive things in the family, to pay school fees, to feed well, and so on, will not be there. Some children may even drop out of school because we are trying to rescue this person. And you know, these drugs, these narcotics like this, they have effects. Some of them will end up with liver cirrhosis. Some of them will end up with so many other complications that are not even treatable. Some end up with tuberculosis and so on. So they have to run the test when they take you there. So it is a whole chain reaction. It affects the individual, the people around, the people who are going to take care to treat that particular individual. If they have enough money of 2 million to take the person to a center that treats those addicts, those drug addicts, and you have the money to take the person there, then the person is going to be treated. But it's going to be treated by who? By so many people who have stopped what they are supposed to do in order to generate money and income in the country so that the country can move forward. So you see, the multiplier effect is that it brings poverty into the system because both the individual, the family, the state are having effects on their particular operation by that particular person who took the drug. So it's not like, let's take if it's your brother or your sister and it's in the psychiatric center, so you have to go there. If you don't go there, you may commit suicide because they have suicidal tendency. They have all sorts of delusions. They are depressed. They can't function. They can't take care of themselves. So you see now you have to bring people that will take care of that particular patient. And so the economy of the country is affected, starting from the individual who is unproductive again, doesn't reason rationally, doesn't even perceive things well, has poor judgment, cannot work, and so on. So that is how the circle goes.
All right, thank you. The program you're watching is Inside the Health World, and you can send us your contributions using the number you find on your screen. The aim of this program is to make the community, make the population see reason why they should not go to buy their medicine any other place than in a pharmacy. You should have to go and buy your dispense. They say you don't sell medicines, right? Yes, I keep saying buying. All right, I wish to find out. There's this thing that I don't know if I'm correct, that if a doctor prescribes a medication and the patient goes to a pharmacy, the medication is not there, the pharmacist has to verify from the doctor, or maybe tell the doctor that that one is not there, but there is a substitute, right? Is there something like that? Okay. Because if you go to these roadside vendors, what they will normally do is that medicine exists again, they just give you a different one to use.
Yeah. It is true that there are sometimes, before I continue, you can buy your medication from any authorized pharmacist, and you know them. Any licensed pharmacist or any licensed pharmacy, you will know them by the Green Cross. And also in our hospitals, especially the government hospitals, we have pro pharmacists. There you are sure to get good medicines. And so when doctors prescribe and these patients come over to us to get their medication, sometimes you may not find that exact trade name that the doctor has prescribed. So we are not actually giving you another medicine. We are giving you the same medicine, the same composition, but just that a different manufacturer has made it and has given a trade name. For example, let me say something, let me call various trade names of the simple medication paracetamol, or the common medication paracetamol. When the doctor prescribes Effergan, for example, and Effergan is not there, who gives to you the same medication, which is paracetamol, but with a different trade name. And you have something like Doliprane, you have Panadol, and many others. Sorry, I'm calling trade names, but just to make us understand that when you go to a pharmacy, an authorized pharmacy, where there is a pharmacist who has been trained adequately, and you don't find that trade name of what the doctor has prescribed, because this pharmacist is trained, he will know that this is the equivalent medication. He's not substituting as such. He's just giving you an equivalence. That means the same medication, the same composition, the same function, the same effects, but just a different trade name because it was done by a different manufacturer.
And that is done.
But if you go to a roadside vendor, he does not have what has been prescribed because he's out there to make money. He is not interested in your well-being. He will give you anything. Sometimes he may give you the same medicine but an expired packet, and you will take it home. Sometimes they wipe off the expiry dates just because they want to make money. So we are advising the population to know that pharmacists are well-trained individuals. They are not there to sell. They are there to dispense to you what has been kept in a safe place, in the right atmospheric condition, the right temperature, the right storage conditions, so that when you take it, you are taking what is actually endorsed by the monograph, because there it tells you what medicine you are taking, what the active ingredient is, what the side effects are, and all those things. But over there at the street corner, they don't have knowledge of all of this, and medicine according to them. And they think because they have given you from that packet, they think it is still the same thing. It's not the same thing. The storage conditions are not good, and the quality, the shelf life of the medicine might have expired, and they will supply it to you.
I will agree with you on the point you said that some of them even wipe off the expiring date, because they will say that if they put 2000, that the medicine will expire in 2000. Normally there's 5 years ahead. They just put that 2000, that even if somebody takes it in 2002, 2003, nothing will happen to the person. Those things are realities that we see in our communities. Okay, Doc, I just want us to look at these people that sell this roadside medicine. Most of the times people come to them, the people don't go to the hospital, they just go and explain what they are feeling, and then they prescribe medication and give it to them. I want us to look at this point and how disadvantageous it is to the human or to our communities.
Yeah, thank you so much. First and foremost, you go to somebody who is not trained, does not have any laws that are guiding him or her with respect to medications. You are running away to go to the roadside because you think the pharmacy is expensive. But you are risking your life. The pharmacy is not expensive. The pharmacy is very cheap. They have a lot of generic drugs, and the pharmacists in Cameroon have a WhatsApp group that if you need a particular medication and that particular pharmacy doesn't have it, he or she is going to tell you when you can get that medication if it is not available in that particular place. So it saves you because the person knows very well. Okay, coming to your question, we have a situation in which you go to somebody and you explain that you have fever, and the person erroneously thinks that fever means malaria. There are so many illnesses that show up as fever. It can be typhoid fever, it can be malaria fever, it can be a type of fever, any other type of fever. So when you go to that particular person, since the person is not knowledgeable, has not read pharmacology, does not know therapeutics, and is not properly trained, he doesn't even have a license, he or she doesn't know how the doctor in the hospital arrived at a particular conclusion that we are going to give drug B. When you go to the hospital, this is what happened. You go to the hospital, you give your complaint to the doctor receives the information that you have given the person. That is subjective information that you have given the person. The doctor does his, he listens to you very well, he collects that information, sends you to the lab, he's probably thinking you have typhoid, you may have this, you may have this, so go and do this test. When you bring the test, the lab test, that is when the doctor now sits down, collect your objective information that you gave, your subjective information that you gave, now looks at the results from the lab, then come up with a conclusion that, okay, this particular person is sick of this particular illness. In other countries, after that, the doctor takes the phone and then call the pharmacist that this person has this particular illness, which drugs are there that we can dispense to this patient. And then that is when the doctor sits down after collecting all the data from the lab, from you, and probably relating to one or two colleagues. He now makes up his mind that you are going to take medicine A twice a day, this number of milligrams for 5 days. It ends there. Medicine B, you are going to take this 3 times a day for 1 week or 2 weeks, and the story ends there. The doctor will, if he wants you to take it again, he will give you a rendezvous. You come, they are going to do a re-evaluation of your health condition before they give you the medicine. Because this medication that they are giving you, it passes through your system. It goes to your kidney. It may damage your liver, it may damage your kidney, and so on. So the doctor is aware. So going to somebody that has a sole purpose of only selling what he or she does not know in order to make money is just suicidal. You have decided to commit suicide. Because why are you running away from an approved pharmacy that will even, the pharmacist is there, he takes a prescription even from the doctor, he sees that if there is some little medication error or prescription error, he calls the doctor's attention. And you may not know, because the pharmacist is trained. He will look at it and then will call the doctor's attention, and if the doctor insists, because the doctor has a copy of that, the doctor insists, some doctors will countersign the second time before that drug is dispensed to you. But you are just going, you are running away from somebody who has been trained as a medical doctor to evaluate your situation and then come up with a prescription. They are running away from somebody that has to prescribe the prescription and give you the drug, give you all the relevant information, when to take it, how to take it, and when you have to stop. And then you are going to somebody, it's like you are being led by a blind man to take you to the best city when the person doesn't have eyes to see. How will the person recognize that this is a city? He doesn't know the illness, he doesn't know the drug, he doesn't know the difference between paracetamol and quinine times, because they bring them from all sorts of corners, and then he takes a thing and put there, they put in their bags. It can give you anything, and they say they mix me medicine. What are they mixing in medicine? Because every drug has a particular action, a place, a mechanism of action, and a place to go and back. It's not a matter of mixing. It's not a rice and stew or whatever that they mix.
All right, thank you very much, Doctor. Like I said, if you want to be part of the program, there's a number on your screen that you can text us on our live here on TV or online. You can watch us online also. We are online. Okay, I want us to look at the role of the community. We know that these people are there. We brought out the disadvantages of all of this, how they don't store their drugs correctly and all of that. Let's now look at the role of the community. What should the community do to help end this, I don't know how to call it, but to help end this trouble that is taking some, because in Tico, like, I didn't want to say it, but in Tico, when I was in Tico, there was a guy who was sick, just a neighbor, and he sent one child to go and buy medication. When the boy came, immediately he took that medication, he slept, and he never got up. So it's really sad. So what role should the community, what should they do to help end this, Doctor?
The community, we can just advise them to do the right thing at the right time. If a patient or a member of the family is ill, you should avoid delays. Take these persons to the hospital soon enough. What happens is that a lot of times when a member of a household is ill, the family starts self-medication. and 2, 3, 4 days nothing happens, they switch to the vendor around the house. Or sometimes they just meet a neighbor and the neighbor says, when I was sick, this is what I took, just take this one, try. And ignorantly the sick patient will take it and also try. We have to let the community know that your life is in your hands. You have just one life to live, and if you have this opportunity to live given by God, don't play with it. Don't play with your life. There's no duplicate life. If you are ill and it's headache and you say, okay, let me take a Eferagan which was in the house, you take. After one day you are not feeling well, go to the hospital. Don't ask your neighbor, your pikin with is sick, so wetin you be giving. No, go to the hospital. And when you get your prescriptions, please go to authorized pharmacies. You can go to hospital pharmacies, the pro pharmacies, or you go to the authorized pharmacies, to the people who are licensed to handle medicines and who have your health at heart, who are there to see that you take the right thing in the right dose at the right time and for the duration of time that you ought to, for you to be in good health. So we are saying no to taking advice from your neighbor. Go to the hospital, go maybe to the pharmacy and ask for help, ask for advice, rather than going to this mama who had a baby recently. You say, mama, wetin you be take? My child is not feeling well. Wetin you be take when your pikin no be well? Let's avoid that. Please, let's help ourselves, thereby helping the community.
All right, thank you very much. I'll also ask you, what do you think that the community should do?
Well, the community has a responsibility to first safeguard their life. Your life is in your hands. You can play with it. If you play with it, you are not going to have, like the doctor said, you don't have a duplicate. So the community should act fast and then act appropriately. They must know where to go, and don't think that you have a headache, your neighbor had a headache and took paracetamol, and then he gives you the paracetamol to take. Is which type of headache? There are more than 3 different types of headache. Is it migraine headache? Is it tension headache? Or why do you have the headache? That is the reason why you go to the hospital, so that the doctor may listen to you. It may just be the surrounding circumstances. It may not only end up as headache, it may end up as if probably you have hypertension, but you are taking paracetamol and destroying your liver. So you end up with liver cirrhosis, and then you complicate your issue. It is very cheap for you to, if you are sick, go to the hospital. If you can't go to the hospital, go to the pharmacist. The pharmacist will advise you, please, you can go see this person, go see this person in this hospital, and then it will be cheaper. If you move around and you take 1, 2, 3 drugs, it becomes very expensive because you think it's cheaper. If you have taken antibiotics, you create resistance, and once you create resistance, the drug that will be used to treat that particular ailment will now move to, you go to the hospital, the doctor, if you don't give the doctor the appropriate information, that you have already taken A, B, C in the quarter, and quite often you don't even know the guy doesn't, he or she doesn't even know the names of the drug and does not give you, and there's no prescription for the doctor to use it as a reference of what you have taken. He or she may just give you another drug, not knowing that in the quarter you have taken it, and the illness is resistant. Once it becomes resistant, it becomes very expensive. The work hours are lost and money is lost. The country is losing money. So the community has the responsibility. That's why I tell people, you have a child given to you by God. You have a sister given to you by God. You have to account for those people on the last day. If they are sick, you are supposed to give appropriate advice. Don't go and say, go this place, when actually you know where to go. You know that you go to the hospital, first line, it will be cheaper. Why are you running away from the hospital when we have spent a lot of money to train people who are there to make sure that they diagnose your disease appropriately, write you a good prescription, and send you to the pharmacy where you can get generic drugs more, by far cheaper than the unknown things you are buying from the roadside.
Okay, is a compassionate health pharmacy open? Like we are advising people to buy from pharmacy, not roadside drug. And when are you opening? Are you open? Do you open on Mondays to Fridays, or have specific days that you open?
Compassionate Health Pharmacy is open 24 hours, 7 days a week,
Okay.
throughout. We have workers who have sacrificed their life that they will be there to take care of you. And the luck in this country is that in every 350 meters, they have put a community pharmacist, particularly in Boye. Here, there's a community pharmacist to take care of that community. And even if that particular pharmacy is not open, they will put a plaque outside to tell you the pharmacy that is on call. So it's cheaper for you to go to the appropriate place and get the cheapest treatment than to move A, B, C. By the time you are going to the hospital, they are already talking about, oh, kidney failure. We have to do dialysis. You are already leading to terminal illness. So it's better for you to go to the appropriate place and then get your disease diagnosed first, and you are sent to a registered pharmacy with a pharmacist to dispense drugs accordingly. Then you take it and you get well within a short period of time.
All right, thank you very much. Just to let the population know that you cannot go to a shop that sells rice, that sells gari, or even sell cloth to get medication. You need to go to a pharmacy, like doctor said here. You identify them, the Green Cross that is always there. That's a pharmacy. And in Munya, we are lucky to have Compassionate Health Pharmacy that is open 247, like doctor said. All right, I'll also ask you the same question if Amazing Pharmacy in Monaco is open throughout for the population.
Okay, thank you. Amazing Pharmacy is open when it's supposed to be open.
Okay.
In the Boya Health District, we have agreed that not all pharmacies will be open every day, every night. Why do we do so? This is so that the workers too can have some days off. They can have Sundays off, they can have some Saturdays off. So we have what we call pharmacy on call. In French, we call it pharmacie de garde. So that if Amazing Pharmacy is not open on a Sunday or over the night, Mount Zion Pharmacy in Moliko will be open, or Enamen Pharmacy will be open. So we make a roster in such a way that at these critical moments like nighttime or Sundays, all pharmacies are not locked. There are about 2-3 pharmacies at every given time that are open to serve the health needs of the population. So we are not open every day 24 hours. For Compassionate Pharmacy, it's that way because in Muya, just one pharmacy is there. But from the Mile 17 stretch right up to Buya Town or Bongo Square, at every given time, at least 3 pharmacies are open. So, as my colleague said, you just have to go to the nearest pharmacy to your home, and you see a board indicating where you can go if it is night time or it is Sundays or Saturdays in the evenings. You just go to the nearest pharmacy, you will see the pharmacy which is supposed to be working, and when you get there, you will have your medication needs met.
So there's no need for you to complain that maybe I went to this pharmacy and it's closed, that's why I went to this person to get my medication. No, like she said, there is a board that always tells you that this one is open, this one is closed, and all of that. So there is no excuse. And the Boya Health District too, like you said, they have really, it's well coordinated in such a way that there will be no time that you look for a medication and you all where to buy it to get your medication and you don't find it. And for compassionate is because it's in Munya. Munya is a large place, and for you alone to serve Munya, it means you need to be open 214. Thank you very much for the work you are putting in our communities. We are rounding up. I will just give you this opportunity to give us your take-home message. Maybe there is something that you wanted to say that you didn't say. Anything, just put them together. I give you the opportunity.
My take-home message is life is precious, and like doctor said, there is no duplicate. Please let us take care of our lives. Let us know that what we take in is what will kill us. And any drug is only good if a medication is good. It's good when dispensed by the doctor, because once the doctor of Amazing Pharmacy is dispensing a drug, on the drug is traceable. And she is accountable for that drug. Anything that happens, if you go to Amazing Pharmacy, you go to Compassionate Pharmacy, you take a drug, you see a sticker, there will be a code there and the name of the pharmacy. So take home message is, you have to know that drugs are not something that they play with, and that is why they are traceable everywhere. If the drug is coming from a Namen pharmacy or coming from another pharmacy, it has the name there that can be traced. Don't go into the quarter. This is not Gary that you take without a dose. This is a life and death situation. Please let us be very careful, because you are informed that you go to a place that there is a cross where you are going to get your medication. And please don't think that the pharmacy is expensive. Pharmacies sell drugs for 100 francs and so on. Pharmacies will dispense drugs to you with respect. They will look at their prescription and they will advise you. So don't go and destroy your liver or your kidney before going to the hospital for a prescription.
All right, thank you very much. I'm coming to you, Dr. Papa. Your take-home message.
I would like the community to know that delays are dangerous. Don't stay home if you are feeling bad. Go to the hospital or go to the pharmacy for advice. And then secondly, we have to know that there are some diseases that are preventable. So let's do all within our power to prevent us from falling ill. You can prevent malaria by putting mosquito nets around your windows, by using mosquito repellents when you are out of the house in the evenings. You can prevent other metabolic conditions by minding what you eat. In our society, people eat anyhow, anytime. Mind what you eat, mind the quantity you eat. Take a lot of fresh foods, fresh vegetables, fruits. Reduce sugar intake. Nowadays, people eat and after every meal, they take sweet drinks. They think they are living well. They are not living well. We are just creating problems for the future. Diabetes is on the increase. Hypertension is on the increase because of wrong lifestyle. So I'll advise our people that you should take your food as medicine. Be conscious what you eat. It's not because you go to a party and the food is free, you eat and come home, you cannot sleep. No. Mind what you eat. Take your food as medicine. Else you take medicines as food. If you don't take care of your health by eating properly, you will soon be so ill that you need a cup full of medicines per day for you to feel fine. So that's what I would like to tell my people out there. Be careful what goes in. Be careful what you take as medicines. So go to the right and authorized places to get your medicines. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Tani Felix Congo. I also thank you, Dr. Tapan Joan, for coming to the program today. You've educated us enough when it comes to the effect or the impact of roadside drugs on us, the community members. And it's just, they say a word to a wise is sufficient. You've heard it all. It's left for you to do the right thing, like she said. The rebroadcast of this program comes up this Friday at 1 o'clock. Make sure you join us again next week for another edition, and stay tuned to High Television.